What if I told you that penguins are not just funny birds in tuxedos, but creatures living lives that feel strikingly human? They fall in love, they give gifts to propose, and some pairs stay faithful for years, even a lifetime. But just like us, not everything is perfect. Some penguins steal from their neighbors, others cheat on their partners, and fights break out over territory or the perfect stone. They grieve when they lose a chick, they celebrate when they reunite after months apart, and they sing duets so unique that in a crowd of thousands, only their partner can recognize them. In their world, we find love, rivalry, loyalty, and heartbreak. Emotions we thought belonged only to us. Penguins may look clumsy and funny, but their lives are filled with drama, romance, and secrets that sound surprisingly familiar. Are they really so different from us? In this episode, we will try to answer these questions. Welcome to Nature Compass, your guide through the wild. What really makes penguins so similar to us? They may not build cities or roads, yet they live in vast colonies where social life thrives at every step. They do not go to work, but their daily lives are far from restful. Instead, they are filled with duties, the most important of which is caring for their offspring. And it is in the way they organize their lives that we begin to see a reflection of ourselves. One of the most surprising similarities is engagements. Imagine a man in an elegant suit offering his beloved a ring, hoping that this gesture will win her heart. A male penguin faces almost the same task. Dressed in his natural tuxedo, he too must present his partner with a gift. It is not a diamond, but a stone. A stone that must be the most beautiful she has ever seen. In a colony where thousands of similar pieces of ice and rock are scattered everywhere, this is not an easy task. The male patiently roams the ground, bending over each find, as if weighing and judging it carefully. The perfect stone must be smooth, solid, and large enough to help build a nest. It also has to be special enough to gain the female's approval. It is his engagement ring, proof that he will be a worthy partner and father to her future chicks. When he finally finds the right stone, he lays it gently at her feet. If the gift pleases her, she accepts it, and in doing so, accepts his engagement. But things do not always go so smoothly. Sometimes the female turns away, as if to say this is not enough, and the male must keep searching, trying again and again. There are also times when his patience runs out, and he chooses a less honorable solution, stealing a stone from a neighbor's nest. That is when the real spectacle begins. Angry penguins chase, squawk, and scuffle, while the entire colony becomes the audience of the quarrel. Sometimes, however, the thief succeeds and escapes with his prize. The female, unaware of its origin, accepts the gift and bonds with her new partner. And so begins their shared story, one that may last for many seasons, or even for a lifetime. But winning a partner is only the beginning. In colonies where tens of thousands of birds gather together, every penguin looks almost the same. For us, it would be like trying to find one familiar face in a huge crowd where everyone looks alike. Imagine thousands of identical black and white coats, moving, shuffling, and calling all at once. It seems impossible to pick out the one you know. And yet, just as we can pick out the voice of someone we know in a noisy crowd, penguins have their own way to recognize each other. They use their song. Each penguin has a unique call that no other bird can copy. Scientists have discovered that even if two penguins stand side by side, their voices remain completely distinct. When males and females reunite after days or even weeks at sea, they rely entirely on these songs to find one another. The male will stretch his neck high, open his beak wide, and release a long carrying call that slices through the cold Antarctic wind. His partner listens carefully, turning her head as if tuning in, and then answers with her own voice. The exchange can last several minutes, a duet woven from sounds that only they can truly recognize. To the rest of the colony, it may blend into the noise, but for them it is unmistakable. It is their secret code, their love song, their way of saying, "I am here." These voices travel far across the ice and snow. To human ears, a penguin colony sounds like complete chaos, a storm of screeches, brays, and honks, all colliding with no clear order. But for penguins, every note has meaning. And it is not just the adults who rely on these voices. Their chicks, waiting in the middle of the colony, also learn to recognize and respond to them. A chick left alone among thousands of others may hear an overwhelming wall of sound, yet when its parent returns from the sea with food, it knows the right voice instantly. The parent calls, the chick answers, and together they weave through the dense crowd until they are face to face. It is a reunion scene, repeated countless times in every breeding season. What makes this even more extraordinary is how early the chicks learn the voices of their parents. Within just a few days of hatching, they begin to imprint the unique call of their mother and father. Even before they can walk steadily, they are already memorizing the rhythm and tone of those voices. This early learning is what allows them to survive in the chaos of the colony. The connection works both ways. Parents can also distinguish the voice of their chick from among hundreds of others. This bond of recognition ensures that food is never given to the wrong chick, and that no young one is left forgotten in the crowd. Without it, survival in such a hostile environment would be almost impossible. With it, families stay connected and endure together, even in the harshest conditions on Earth. Think about how we, as humans, strengthen our bonds. We go on dates, share dinners, take long walks together, and through these simple moments, we grow closer to the ones we love. Penguins, in their own way, do something very similar. They spend time together, moving side by side across the ice as if on quiet walks, and these shared moments help to deepen their connection. And while their dates might look a little different, their true strength as couples is revealed in how they raise their young. Parenthood, after all, is one of the clearest mirrors between penguins and humans. Just as we share duties, protect our children, and watch over them with devotion, penguins too divide the work with remarkable balance. When the female lays her egg, the responsibility immediately becomes shared. One parent carefully balances the egg on top of its feet, covering it with a flap of skin to keep it warm, while the other heads to the sea to feed. Weeks later, they switch, each taking turns to endure hunger and cold, so that the fragile egg is never left alone. Without this cooperation, the egg would not survive even a single night in the freezing Antarctic winds. When the chick finally hatches, this partnership only grows stronger. Both parents bring food, lovingly feeding the chick with fish and tiny crustaceans delivered straight to its beak. Both stand guard, shielding the small one from predators and the bitter cold. The balance is so precise that the survival of the chick depends equally on mother and father. Neglect by either would mean certain death. And so devotion becomes the only option. It is a rhythm of sacrifice and care, played out day after day until the chick is strong enough to survive on its own. But parenting is only one part of the story. Just as in our own lives, raising children is never done in isolation. Families exist within larger communities, surrounded by neighbors, friends, and the support of society. Children go to school, play on playgrounds, and grow up learning not only from their parents, but also from those around them. Penguins, in their own way, mirror this as well. Once the chicks are strong enough to stand, parents place them in groups that work like kindergartens, where dozens or even hundreds of young gather together. There they find warmth, safety, and the first lessons of social life. This sense of community becomes even more important when the Antarctic winter strikes. Penguin society shows its true power then, as temperatures plummet. Winds roar across the ice, and survival alone is impossible. So the colony gathers into a massive huddle. Thousands of bodies pressed tightly together, feather to feather, creating a living shield against the cold. Those on the outside slowly move inward, while others take their place at the edge. A constant rotation that shares both suffering and relief. It is a masterpiece of cooperation, a rhythm of unity where every individual matters, and no one survives without the group. This remarkable system allows penguins to endure conditions that would kill a solitary bird in hours. And it reminds us of something we know deeply in our own lives, that strength comes from togetherness. Just as we seek safety in families, communities, and nations, penguins survive through the bonds of their colony. In both worlds, human and penguin alike, survival is never just about the individual. It is about the group, the society, and the ties that hold everyone together. Yet even the strongest bonds cannot shield them from every threat. The world of penguins is changing. Climate change is melting the ice on which they build their colonies, and the seas they depend on are offering fewer fish. For them, it is as if the very foundation of their home and the source of their food are slowly disappearing. Their struggle is not so different from ours. We too face the question of whether we can adapt to a future marked by challenges beyond our control. And yet, despite all these difficulties, penguins endure. They still sing their songs, still offer stones as tokens of commitment, still raise their young with tireless care. They stand as living proof that life, even in the harshest conditions, always finds a way forward. Which part of a penguin's life surprised you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoy exploring nature's hidden stories, make sure to subscribe. It costs nothing, but it keeps you connected to every new adventure.